Well, Memorial Day weekend is a time to remember and a time to reflect on those who sacrificed their lives for us. And for one cattle company outside of Kansas City, it's the legacy and the memory of a fallen soldier that's ingrained in everything this operation does. This week, we introduce you to KC Cattle Company.
1 or 2 orders rolling this morning, so we can get those packed this afternoon.
At the KC Cattle Company, the roots are shallow.
2018 being our first year of sales, we saw substantial growth, and 2019's carrying into that.
From battling drought in 2018,
I don't think we'll be able to touch that field till next week.
to fighting off relentless rains this year, this 3-year-old business is no stranger to challenges.
Last year, kind of dealing with the drought, that was painful.
But for Patrick Montgomery, the challenges fuel his fire, making every victory that much sweeter.
There wasn't anybody doing this in Kansas City yet.
Montgomery decided to dive into raising Wagyu beef in 2016, and he made his first sale 2 years later.
About 95% of our revenue is done through our website.
While sales are strong, his focus this year is production.
2019 is really kind of being defined for us as figuring out how do we scale and how do we do that responsibly.
The idea of the KC Cattle Company grew from an untraditional seed.
I grew up 30 minutes south of here. My family, they weren't in the agriculture business, and about the most exposure I had to it in high school was, getting paid $8 an hour to buck hay on a trailer.
After graduating high school, Montgomery got a taste of college and decided that wasn't the path for him. So he dropped out, opting to enlist in the military.
I kind of decided that my true calling was pursuing a path to become an Army Ranger, and I decided college could wait.
The next 4.5 years shaped his future while creating a past he'll never forget.
On my first deployment in Ranger Regiment, my brother-in-law was killed in action in Paktika province in Afghanistan. And so, I was tasked with bringing him back to my sister, which is, probably be the greatest honor I have until I die.
That honor and that tragedy, he says, led him on a deep, dark path for about 1.5 years.
I'm fortunate for even the tough parts because it made me the man I am today. And, I think about the things, if they would have changed just a little bit, I wouldn't be standing here.
When it came time to re-enlist, Montgomery knew he needed to change focus, deciding to pursue a degree in animal science with hopes of one day becoming a veterinarian.
I got into the animal science program at Mizzou, and I really enjoyed that. But I did figure out that the medicine wasn't something I wanted to pursue.
That experience birthed another idea.
I kind of fell in love with business while I was there, and KC Cattle Company was kind of the brain baby of those two passions.
An idea to raise and sell high-quality, higher-priced beef in the Kansas City area.
When I was actually getting started, I read an article in a ag-centered magazine, and it was talking about how beef sales in grocery stores was declining for everything except for prime cuts.
And as his brain baby became a reality, he ventured down another path.
It was kind of by accident. There was no part of my marketing plan or anything like that included, being 100% veteran-owned and veteran-operated cattle ranch. It's pretty cool to see, the change in some of the guys that come out here and are transitioning from that military lifestyle to civilian life. So
Montgomery says a fresh start surrounded by a peaceful setting while being around others who share a similar story is the perfect formula to help restore veterans' mental state of mind.
Kind of bringing guys together that have a culmination of the same type of experiences is it's therapeutic in its own way. So that comboed with a little hard physical labor is kind of the secret sauce.
Something to which Zeph Martinez,
oh, I love it. I can't see myself doing anything else.
Can attest.
The camaraderie aspect is definitely a huge factor. Being able to work around guys that have had some of the same experiences as you've had, especially coming from the military side, that's definitely the thing I like the most about it.
Martinez has been working here since August of 2018 and met Montgomery through War Horses for Veterans.
And I've tried a couple of other jobs since being out, and a lot of them weren't hitting the mark. Money-wise, yeah, they were all right, but I was definitely not happy. And ever since I started here, being able to go from the office and actually packing orders and shipping orders, and then being able to literally come right out of the office 2 hours later and be working with cattle or doing, cutting grass, mowing, it's awesome. You can't beat it.
While Martinez is employed here full-time, others volunteer to do something they love while turning this passion
So I'm writing a note to this customer. Her first name's Tiffany.
into gratitude.
Every order usually will get a personal note. for customers' continued support.
Actually, just a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at my original marketing plan and just the business plan for Casey Cattle Company, and I was like, man, this is what I'm doing now doesn't look anything like what I wrote down on paper a couple years ago. So it was kind of cool to see, you know, the interactions that God's had in my own life to kind of turn Casey Cattle Company into what it is now.
Today, Montgomery says Casey Cattle Company strives to do well by doing good for others, a Memorial Day message he wants other veterans to hear.
Especially Memorial Day, I think something a lot of us struggle with is the buddies we no longer have here. And I think it's just really important to remember that if those guys were here, they'd tell you that they don't want you to be self-destructive. They want you to go find that next path in life that's going to make you feel fulfilled.
Finding a new way to be fulfilled down an unfamiliar road while carrying his brother-in-law's legacy with him on every step.
Well, Montgomery says he shipped his first order to Hawaii a couple weeks ago, but it was also a milestone because just a couple weeks ago, Montgomery received his MBA from the University of Missouri. Another achievement. Congratulations, Patrick, and thank you so much for letting us visit your farm this week. All right, when we come back, we'll tackle alternative proteins with John Phipps.
Fake meat, is it a real problem?